On this episode of Coat of Arms, we're going to check out the 2017 IPSC Provincial Championships in Ontario, Canada. Then, we're going to sit down with professional female shooter Kaci Cochran, and we're going to talk about her upcoming trip to the World Championships in France. And finally, we're going to play with the very first Wilson Combat AR9 to hit the country, so check it out. Hey guys, Doug from Coat of Arms here. A little bit of news for our Canadian viewers. The RCMP have declared that 80% AR lowers are now prohibitive devices. For you guys that don't know what an 80% lower is, it's essentially a AR pattern lower that hasn't been completely finished. Basically, you buy one of these kits, you buy a special jig for it, you drill it out, and basically you have an AR lower. But the RCMP, in their infinite wisdom, have determined that these are too dangerous for Canadians to own. So be careful if you have any, small blocks of steel or metal kicking around your house. You could be in possession of something illegal. What is unclear is what exactly constitutes an 80% lower. Is it just a block of metal? Is it got to look like an AR lower? We don't know. What if I have a 79.3% lower? Is that prohibited? If I have a Dremel and a block of steel, am I an illicit arms manufacturer? Pew, 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 pew. Oh, sorry, officer. I didn't realize I was in possession of a legal device. In the future, guys, don't forget, sometimes it's not always your politicians that make the laws. In this country, the police do. Do you remember 2 years ago when U.S. dentist Walter Palmer shot Cecil the lion in Africa? Do you remember the media outrage? It was crazy. Social media went insane. People were going to kill him. Did you know that this past month, the son of Cecil the lion, Zanda, was killed by a hunter 2 kilometers outside of the same national park in Zimbabwe? So where's the outrage now? This happened only a few kilometers from where Cecil was shot. Is it because all the outrage is now directed towards Donald Trump, enemy number one? In the US, it seems that rifle and shotgun sales are bigly down over the first half of 2017 over gun sales last year. As we know, politics can drive gun sales, especially in the US. When politicians start talking about gun control and gun bans, there always is a corresponding frenzy to buy in case stuff gets confiscated or prohibited. With the election of Donald Trump last year, it seems that gun owners are much more relaxed and are not in a buying frenzy as they were. In fact, in 2016, more firearms were sold in the state of California than any other year on record, and that's according to the FBI statistics. In the first half of 2017, Californians bought about 166,000 guns. Last year, in the 2016 presidential election year, 234,000 guns were sold in the same period. Can you imagine what would have happened if Hillary had been elected? Americans are probably not afraid that their rights to own guns are going to be trampled upon.
We're here at Silverdale Gun Range. Just got in our hands the new Wilson Combat AR 9mm. And let me tell you, this thing is a dandy. Straight from Wanstalls. First one's in Canada. We're test firing them today. Just took them apart, cleaned them up good, oiled the right spots. Nice rifle, very light, 6 pounds. Just put a little vortex on there to do some test firing with. Really like the controls. Everything is very much the same as an AR. As you can see, the fit and finish, incredible, right? Little things, little details, Wilson Combat's markings, they all line up. All these little tiny things that to some people don't matter, but when you start to get into a custom firearm, you really see the differences. The cycle rate on these things are incredible. So very nice trigger. We checked the trigger weight. It's running in about 4 1/4, 4.2 to 4 pounds. Really nice clean trigger, clean, crisp, good solid reset on it. It's a really nice gun, super easy to shoot. It's only, you can fall asleep on this thing and shoot it. You can go from 5.56 or 2.23 down to a 9mm, all right, and basically save half on your training budget, or shoot more, which is always our case. And for us, a big thing is now we can apply some of our drills and use steel instead of just paper targets. So we've got 124 grain, 9mm in this gun from X Metal. We're shooting on an X Metal target. We got the Wilson 9mm, new to Canada. All right, and we're gonna see what it does. Still getting used to it, playing with it, having some fun with it. If you can, you'll probably see in the background the box from the for our postal service is still here. That's how new this gun is. We're gonna keep on the review on this thing, and we're gonna let you know later on how it's still running and what we're doing with it. But I want to reach out and say thanks to Gary and the boys at Wanstalls. Thanks for Silverdale for letting us do this. Thanks to Etchan and the X Metal team, okay, for the ammunition as well as the targets, okay? So we'll get back to you and let you know what's going on with this thing again.
While we were at the 2017 IPSC Provincials, held at the Silverdale Gun Club in St. Anne's, Ontario, we actually got to sit down with some pretty cool suppliers and vendors. We met up with Sig Canada, Grand Power Canada. We got to play with some of their stuff. And we also had a really good chat with the guys over at the CCFR, the Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights. Today we're at the 2017 IPSC Provincials at the Silverdale Gun Range. A lot going on here, and we're going to check it out. I'm here with Stacey from the CCFR, which is the Canadian Coalition of Firearm Rights. How you doing today, Stacey?
Not too bad. Yourself, Doug?
Good, good. I understand you guys are the fastest growing firearms rights organization in Canada. Can you tell us a bit about your organization?
Yeah, we're about 2 years old now, and we're passionate about the firearms community and the firearms rights, and we're probably the fastest growing advocacy group in here in Canada today.
Now, when somebody who is a Canadian gun owner enrolls as a member of the CCFR, what do their dues go towards?
We're 100% volunteer organization. Their dues go right back into education and advocacy for the CCFR. We just hired our first paid employee this year, and that's what we're growing on right now, and it goes all right back to the organization.
Awesome. Do you guys have any sort of perks or programs that the membership can tap into?
Absolutely. We offer legal defense insurance, as well as we have a legal hotline that you can call and ask questions into. That's on top of your membership insurance. And with the membership itself, you get a $5 million club liability, or if anything happens on the club or while you're doing hunting, fishing, or at a shooting club, you have insurance for.
That's great. If a Canadian firearms owner wants to enroll with CCFR, how would they go about doing that?
They can go to www.firearmrights.ca and you can register online.
I heard you guys are doing a big draw. What's it about?
So this draw that we're doing this year, we've done it 2 years in a row now. $25 gets you a ballot, 5 early bird draws, and a big shopping spree for $10,000 on any gun you want.
And how do we sign up for it?
www.firearmrights.ca.
Great. And I'm with Tim from Sig Canada, and he's got some cool toys on the table here, and one of them is one of the newly approved MPXs. And I think Tim's going to show us how it comes apart. So, Tim, tell us a bit about this gun.
All right, it's very similar to an AR for disassembly, very straightforward. You've got your takedown pin at the back, and your bolt carrier group, and all disassembles.
So a shooter who's very familiar with the AR platform is going to be able to basically pick one of these up and roll with it pretty well right away.
Yep, all the controls and functions are identical.
Okay. In terms of customization, say if I were to pick one of these up and wanted to tweak it for my, for my competition use or basically some sort of tactical course, what could I do to this gun to make it the way I want?
The trigger and hammer assembly is standard AR components.
So could I drop in an aftermarket trigger into this gun?
Yeah, most aftermarket ones will drop straight in. Sig offer a couple of variants of stocks. This one's a side-folding collapsible. They've got telescoping MP5 sort of style.
Cool. Well, I'll be honest. When I looked at this, I thought, wow, I could turn this into a MP5-ish kind of gun pretty easily.
Yeah.
Cool. And the upper is, do all the models have a full rail all the way, or are there different configurations of rails and foreguards?
They've got the full-length rail. The current model from Sig has the key mod forend. And then they're also available in different barrel lengths. This is the 8.5 inch. They also offer a 16-inch carbine, longer barrel, longer forend.
In terms of the bolt carrier assembly, is it the same as an AR, or is that proprietary to Sig?
It's proprietary to Sig. They've got this gun is gas piston driven, and because of the folding stock, there's no buffer tube, so everything's contained here on the bolt carrier. So it's got a dual recoil spring. And,
Cool.
Similar to the AR, a rotating bolt head.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, this is pretty cool, but I'm eyeing something up farther down the table here. Do you think we could have a look at it?
Sure.
Because this looks pretty cool. So, what do we got here?
So this has just come into the country. It's been with us for a couple of weeks. It's the new 320 X5 series. So Sig has taken the standard 320 platform and tuned it up a little.
Okay, so this is the 320 X5 series. So that's a single action only pistol for those that aren't familiar. So what kind of toys do we have on here that we can show off?
I mean, I'll show the different features to the standard 320. Sig's changed the profile of the grip. They've added the flared mag well. They now have an adjustable rear sight, which is removable. So you can actually install Sig's Romeo 1 straight onto the top. And the new key feature, which is what's on the usual X5 series gun, is the ball barrel. So it's a heavier profile target barrel.
Yep. What about the trigger? What sort of trigger pull can we expect from this guy?
Out of the box, they're about 5.5 pound.
I mean, straight out of the box, this is pretty awesome. I mean, we've got great sight, we've got a flared mag well, single action only trigger. I mean, this thing's good to go.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was playing with it earlier. Trigger's beauty. So, Tim, when can Canadian shooters actually expect to see the X5 320 available in Canadian stores?
They should be ready for sale hopefully in the next month or so.
Oh, that's fantastic. Guys, this is a great looking pistol. It feels great in the hands, and I think it's going to be a winner. I'm here with Dave Copping from Grand Power Canada. Dave's going to talk to us today about Grand Power and some of the cool firearms they have here at the 2017 Silverdale Range Day.
How are you doing today? Grand Power started in 2002. It's a Slovakian-based company. The designer and owner of Grand Power is a gentleman who was actually trained in the Czechoslovakian military university system. As a child, he spent a lot of summers tearing apart his grandfather's gun collection, trying to find the magic inside. And one of the features that he was really fixated on was one of his grandfather's Steyr Roth pistols, which had a rotary locking system. So all the Grand Power centerfire pistols feature a rotary barrel system. It starts from a CNC machine steel chassis. That roller bearing works off the cam in the barrel. Now the K100 that I've got in my hand is our original model. It's a 4¼ inch duty pistol. It's a traditional double action, single action. This one here actually is set up with our decocking hammer group, which now puts it on double action only. Now that's where we started. Premium model now is still based on the K100. It's still a rotary action firearm. But this is our Excalibur. It features a heavy bull barrel. It's meant for IPSC production shooters. All of our Grand Power pistols come with ambidextrous controls, so our safety is ambi. Our mag catch is ambidextrous without the need to switch sides. Our slide stop is ambi. So this one, again, it's meant more for our premium sporting competition guys, the people that shoot IPSC, NRA action pistol. It's not legal, as far as we know, for IDPA because there's a question about the bull barrel. Very recently, we introduced our first striker-fired model. It is, from the bottom down, you'd think a K100. It still features all the same features. All of our 9mm and smaller guns have this interchangeable backstrap system, so you can set it up to fit your hand. When you get a Grand Power pistol like that, it comes with the extra backstraps in the box. With the with our striker fired system, you do have a striker fire indicator. Trigger safety. It's got a very clean reset, or clean brake. If you like bigger than 9mm, we also make two different types of. This is the P40. We also have the P40L, which is a 5-inch. This is a 4 1/4. And you can get these in 10mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, as well as 45 ACP. The smallest model we make is our rimfire, and this is our K22 X trim. There's also a K22S, which is a little bit more affordable. But even with our rimfire guns, it's not a toy, it's a steel slide. It's still based on the same steel frame. In this case, of course, we don't need a rotary lock, so the barrel is dovetailed and cross-pinned into the frame. The K22S, or K22X trim, starts out with about a 2 3/4 inch or 2 3/4 pound single action bolt. You get the wide safeties, but when we offer a gun with those wide ambi safeties inside the box, you'll also have the thin levers. If they're not to your taste, you can fit them to you. All of our guns come with 2 magazines. And I'm the distributor for Canada, so your local retailer will get to know me.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Dave.
You're quite welcome.
We're here at the wrap-up of the 2017 IPSC Provincials at Silverdale Gun Club. I'm here with Kaci Cochran, one of the competitors. Kaci, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good. What'd you think of the match here?
You know, it was really different. It's a lot different than what I'm used to, being from the States. This is more of an IPSC style match. I'm used to mostly USPSA. I thought Alex did a great job. Definitely different. Lots of reloads because, you know, in open we're used to 30 rounds in the States. You only get 10 here. So got to practice a lot of reloading, but overall it was a fantastic match.
And can you share with our audience where you're actually from?
I'm actually from Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm about 20 minutes south in a little town called Stockbridge.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
So how'd you fare today?
Actually, I did well. I wound up coming in 3rd overall in the match and won High Lady and Open.
That's great. That's
Thank
great.
you.
Is this your first time competing in Canada?
Yes, it is.
So you got to witness the 10-round magazine limit?
Yes, and didn't know about that till I got here. So that was kind of Alex's surprise for me. So
that's good.
That's all right.
Reloads,
yeah.
Any other events you're competing in this year?
Actually, yes, I am on the Ladies Open team to go to France to go shoot the World Shoot later this year in August.
And where do you train out of?
I train out of Griffin Gun Club in Griffin, Georgia.
That's great. That's great. So are you going to come back and do some more competitions in Canada?
Yes, I'll actually be back for the level 3 that Alex is putting on in September.
Well, thanks for chatting with us.
Absolutely. Thank you. My name's Casey Cochran, and I am from Stockbridge, Georgia. What got me into the shooting sport was my dad. He was actually a shooter back in the 80s. He was the Area 6 section coordinator for a while. He put on the Area 6 championships for a few years. When my mom was pregnant with me in '90, I was born 2 weeks before the Area 6 championships were actually held. So I was quite literally born into the shooting world, and I've been on a range my entire life. Shooting was not always my passion. I was actually a rodeoer. I could ride a horse before I could walk at a very, very young age. I used to travel around the country with my dad, going to rodeos, big barrel races, things like that. And then when I turned about 16, I was like, hey, I might want to try the shooting thing out. And he's like, okay. So I tried it for a little while, and I tried to do both for a bit, but they're both really expensive. So he's like, look, kid, you're killing me. You need to pick one or the other and just go with one. So I went with shooting for a month and then horses for a month and then made my decision, and we sold the horses and got out of it and dove straight into shooting. Been doing it ever since. Generally, I just go to the range 3 to 4 times a week. I'll stay there for a couple hours. If I have a particular match coming up, like for this match, I went to the range, shot some weak hand, shot some strong hand, worked on my reloads, that kind of thing. It really all just depends on, you know, what's coming up at the next match. Do I have weird start positions, or do I have 60-yard shots or 40-yard shots? You know, just things like that. And, you know, if I don't have a match coming up, I just practice the basics, because honestly, without that, nothing works. I'd really say that my biggest inspiration when I first started shooting was Julie Golub. Julie was really a big inspiration for me because she's so great with women and kids, and you know, being both at the time, you know, she was just like, oh my gosh, I wanted to be Julie. So that was one of the big people that started me off. I've started noticing a lot more women shooters. I wouldn't say that they're prominent, but you know, I'm starting to see more come out of the woodwork, more women showing up with their husbands to watch, more guys, you know, getting their daughters to come out and watch. And you know, a lot of them see me shoot and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to shoot, but I can never do that because she's just so intimidating. You know, and I try to, you know, if I see them and they kind of look a little hesitant, I try to go over, introduce myself, talk to them a little about the sport, and they're like, oh, I could never do what you do. Well, yes, you can. I had to start somewhere. You know, I didn't start off being top master class, almost GM overnight. You have to start somewhere, everybody does. So it's big for me to try to get more women and kids into the sports because that's what we need. My first international match was the Jamaica Invitational Pistol Tournament a couple years ago, and that was a blast, let me tell you. That was only their second year putting the match on, but it was great. And then I came here, of course, and I'll be back in September to shoot again. So I'm gonna go to one more international match this year. It's the World Shoot in France. I'm on the Ladies Open team. It's in Châteauroux. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a long trip, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, the significance to the color of my jersey, it was my dad's favorite color. It was blue. He was my coach, my mentor, and my best friend. And that was his favorite color, and he died suddenly in March, 2 days after my last nationals. I just won my third national championship title, and he died 2 days later from a heart attack. It's all right.
Did you do a lot of training with your dad?
Yes. Yeah, we pretty much spent every waking moment together, literally. So if he was up going somewhere, I was with him. So I was literally his shadow from the day I was born. My mom will come out and shoot and plink every now and then. I can get her to shoot the 22s for steel challenge matches, but otherwise, most of my family's just like watching my videos. They're just like, you're crazy, but that's cool, we'll watch your videos. Long-term goal, you know, this is what I do for a living, but long-term, I'd really like to start giving more classes, you know, maybe doing more classes with women, introducing more women into this sport, you know, work with some kids, this, that, and the other. My immediate goal right now is to go to the World Shoot and win the Ladies Open title, make GM in the state, which is really big. I'll be the second woman ever to do it in Open, you know, and I'm really close to that too. So, you know, kind of got a lot of things in the fire, but next year I'm really going to focus a lot on maybe trying to start training, and I really want to win a national championship title in every division as a woman. So that's kind of a big thing for me too. Without my sponsors, this would never have been possible for me. They are all so great. You know, and a lot of my sponsors I've had for 11 years. I've had them since I started, and they're like family, you know, and a lot of people take that for granted, and they're, oh, well, you just have sponsors because you're good. No, you have sponsors because you show a little bit of talent, and a company takes you on and shows you just a little bit of trust, and you have to earn that and keep that and give them the same loyalty and work in return, because it's not just handed to you just because. It's really not, and that's a common misconception, but they're all great. I mean, I wouldn't trade any of them for the world. I'm Casey Cochran, and you're watching Coat of Arms.
Well, we're wrapping up our weekend here at the IPSC 2017 Provincials at Silverdale. We've had a long weekend, hanging out with great shooters, great vendors, great sponsors. A little bit tired, we've been in the sun for 2 days, but a great time was had by all. Great shooters, great camaraderie. Hope to catch you again on the next episode. And so you don't miss out, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube.com. This is Coat of Arms.